Let me jump to this story from Newsweek because this is relevant. Newsweek reports U.S. expects Kiev to fall in days as Ukraine's source warns of encirclement. So you've got multiple reporters on the story saying 3 different U.S. officials, Ukraine's capital will fall within, I think they say 96 hours. Jeez. And within a week, the Ukrainian government will fall to Russia. This is bad. It's very bad. However, it could be better than the alternative. Ukraine falling could be an end to the conflict outright.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, but we these situations are terrible because they're incredibly complex, and you don't know the next moves of some of these people. You know, what happens when Ukraine falls? Is Putin satisfied?
That's a great question.
You know,
this is my next question.
Is he satisfied? Or, you know, and do we just, if he is satisfied, do we just take that loss?
Yeah.
You know, and what are the repercussions of that? You know,
I mean,
walking away with
for
a
America?
bruise.
What are we worried about? Now the issue is NATO, these Western European nations want cheaper energy. Russia controls a lot of the energy flowing in. So the craziest thing is one of the moves that Joe Biden made in the past couple of days was to sanction the Nord Stream 2 pipeline, which goes from Russia to Germany. He sanctioned that, but he was the one who lifted the sanctions on it in the first place.
Right.
They tried to appease
after
Putin,
he shut down the Keystone XL pipeline.
Exactly.
Too.
They tried to appease Russia. It didn't work. Vladimir Putin sees the appeasement. They're like, okay, we're going to lift these sanctions. You can do your pipeline. Just don't invade Ukraine. Otherwise, we'll put them back in place. And Putin went, oh, okay. Yeah, sure.
Because we were fine with those sanctions.
Yep.
You know, they weren't affecting them that greatly. So he said, okay, sure.
Ben Shapiro made a really, really great point. He said, paraphrasing, that the U.S. that our culture is so materialistic,
yes,
that we think sanctions inhibiting their ability to buy things will stop them. Russia wants to rebuild the Russian Empire. China wants Taiwan.
Said it today. Joe Biden said it today that he didn't think the sanctions were going to do anything. There's a clip of him coming out and saying, "Yeah, well, we didn't think sanctions were going to do anything anyway." You know, so it's all for show. He knows that that's not going to be enough of a deterrent.
Ben Shapiro made the really interesting point. Sorry to cut you off. I just had to throw this out there. But Ben Shapiro made the really interesting point that Russia has something higher to work for that the U.S. no longer has. He's like, we are so materialistic. We care about faster cars. We care about Levi's. We don't actually care about our country or like any kind of overarching moral framework. And they do. And that's something we cannot understand.
Because they've been struggling for how long?
Right,
you know,
exactly.
And this is if you're Russian, you know, and if you're in the Russian government and if you're Vladimir Putin, you're seeing this as a chance to, you know, like you said, rebuild or restore whatever that empire was in his mind.
I think
and we're not looking at it from that perspective.
Right.
In America, we've never experienced that. You know, the worst hardship that we've experienced financially in terms of you know, hardship was the Depression. And we made it out of that okay, and that lapsed far into our memories. You know, these people have been living under harsh conditions for a really long time. So they're looking at these opportunities to capitalize and become a more powerful country, become more economically stable. You know, so what dog do we have in the fight here?
I think if he was smart, Putin, and he is, that he would take what he takes out of Ukraine and then that's it. He moves on and he's remembered as Vladimir the Great. Like you could,
but
if he pushes too far,
honestly, if you were a betting man, would you bet that he would do that?
No, I wouldn't.
Yeah, because otherwise he's going to get the world declare war on him. He's got to be careful.
No. I think you know we learned
a bit at a time.
We learned a lesson here. Just 2 days ago, we're like, he won't go for Kiev. That's ridiculous. He won't go.
I didn't think
96 hours. Yeah.
We were sitting here saying it'll never happen, and then last night it's like the show ends, and I got a message from Luke, and he's like all caps.
That was during the show too. That's crazy.
Russia's invaded, and I'm like, well then, we were
hard and fast. Because if he took a little bit now and then waited and later went for Kiev, it'd be a big deal. Now he's just taking it all at once to get it over with before people have.
From
a
the
chance
looks of the map, it looks like the entire country.
He's going to take the whole thing, and then it's going to be done, and it's going to be Russia.
Why would he stop?
Because the world will declare war on him if he doesn't.
They won't.
I think they will.
He's
already. We have no choice at that point.
Yeah. Who?
The United States, Britain, France, Germany,
all these
NATO,
people that are relying on cheap energy.
Turkey probably will get.
This is the
Chinese
issue.
will be on the Russian side. It'd be absolute torture for everybody.
It's this entanglement of everybody's interests. You know, you have Europe relying on Russia for a tremendous amount of cheap energy. Are they going to be so quick to declare war?
Well, this is the crazy thing. The idea for so long was that trade would stop war. It's what the neocons and neoliberal establishment thought they were going to do. They said we do a free trade agreement with China and then we'll have peace because no one will want to go to war. Instead, what happens is the bully in the room says, I'll go to war and I get your stuff and ain't nothing you can do about it.
Yep.
Yeah. It works a little trade,
True.
but it doesn't stop war.
Right.
It helps people get to know each other, but it gives you an incentive to work together, but it doesn't stop conflict. That's for
No,
sure.
it doesn't, because there's always workarounds. In a global economy, there's always workarounds. You can slap Russia with sanctions, but guess what? When China has their back, how much do those sanctions actually mean?
Yeah, like if they get kicked off the SWIFT payment system, we already touch on that story?
No, we'll get into it next in a second.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but that's
Talk about a new banking
there.
regime.
But I think right now you've got Germany. They didn't want the sanctions on Nord Stream 2 because they want the gas. They want the
need
energy.
it.
They need it.
Yeah.
Now they have no choice because Vladimir Putin's like, I literally don't care. I got you by the balls. If you need our gas, we can take what we want. It's one of the reasons the U.S. was like, hey, we should be working with our Western allies to move this pipeline up from, the Qatar-Turkey pipeline through Syria. But all that does, if Vladimir Putin has control over your energy, and then you say, we're going to screw with your allies and build a pipeline to shut your monopoly on energy down, they're going to be like, I can see you doing that,
think
right?
that's gonna happen.
Like Putin's like, I'm watching you attack my interests. I'm not going to sit back and let you do it.
I used to play a lot of Civilization, and in the game sometimes I would choose to be like a trade-heavy country, and I'd have all these trade networks all over the world. But then every once in a while, the world would be like, we're going to war. And as soon as the person would go to war with me, all my trades would end abruptly. I'd be bankrupt. I'd have no income. I'd have no
So you're saying you're bad at
furs. I'd have no
Civilization?
leather. I'd have no. Basically, if you're relying on trade and you go to war with your trade partner, you're getting done.
Yeah.
You're saying you're bad at Civilization? Is that what it is?
Well, I learned the hard way. I got good the hard way is what I was
See,
saying.
what you do in Civilization, it's a video game, is
Energy independence.
no, you
Yes.
take the furs from them with guns.
Well, that's one option if you're playing that kind of.
I never play Civilization
Method.
that way.
Yeah,
I
don't
always
normally,
have
actually.
really strong borders, a really strong and advanced military, and I mind my own business.
If I get
novel
attacked, I go
concept.
full.
That is a novel concept.
I know, right?
Can you say that one more time for us?
This is how I isn't it? This is really funny though.
Do you win a lot when you play?
Oh yeah, every time. But I go for science and cultural victory, which is there's different ways to win. So I had a buddy, and he introduced me to Fallout 3. So I'm playing Fallout 3. You ever play Fallout?
Yeah.
Video game.
First one.
Whenever I play it, you know what I go for? I go for stealth, sniper, sneak, lockpick.
So dangerous, yeah.
That's how I play the game. I never get in any direct conflicts. I see a super mutant, I'm in the bushes and slow motion, VATS.
Got to get some power armor just in case.
Hold on. My buddy, when he's playing the game, he runs in, guns blazing,
Oh, it's so
heavy
awesome.
weapons.
That's how I played Metal Gear.
Hip fire.
But wait, hold on. Check it out. He was a Marine.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, you know
Interesting.
what? Like the mentality of the person comes out, it's expressed in the way they play these games. His view was go in, guns a-blazing, shut it down quick and fast and control the situation. Mine was sneak around slowly, take your time, be patient, very different personalities. When I play Civilization, you can see my mentality on all the stuff. I don't like war, mind my own business, peace and prosperity, and that's how I play the game. I build up my cities. I make everyone live really great lives. We research and technology.
What do you do?
And we mind our own business.
What do you do if someone attacks you in the game?
We wipe them out.
I
Strong
take
borders.
it to zero.
So
like,
it's a strong defense though.
well,
right.
I'll
Like
go.
I never initiate.
I'll go if I get attacked. I go completely ballistic and wipe them off the face of the earth.
Yep.
Like I don't.
Yeah,
I don't
that's-
just sue for peace. I eradicate the species.
Well,
in the game.
in Civilization, if you do that, all the other countries
and then they think I'm a warmonger, but it's like,
Right.
you know what? You deserve it because you attacked me.
That's
it's
how
a
I-
crazy mentality, and I'm
No,
afraid
no,
that
no.
humans have that mentality
Look,
in real life.
I'm playing a game. I got my little country. The land my people have settled. They come to my borders and they say, give me your stuff. And I say, don't try it. Don't try it. They try it. They get crushed. I go into their cities. I occupy them. And then when everyone gets mad at me, I say, I don't care. Stay the F away from my borders. Leave me alone and you'll have no problems. I like that mentality. America can have all the nukes in the world. It can be the most powerful MFer on the planet. And it can sit back with its feet up and be like, dude, we're chilling. You guys leave us alone and we're good.
That was the
We'll
original
trade.
idea.
Right.
Yeah,
That
until
was-
they
that
invaded
was-
Iraq or Afghanistan.
No,
basically.
Yeah, I mean we got it wrong way before
I guess
that.
we
too.
invaded
way
Hawaii.
I think it was
Wake
like
Island.
Woodrow Wilson.
Yeah.
It was before.
way
We used
back.
to we colonized Hawaii. We invaded Hawaii and took it over from the natives. We invaded Wake Island and Midway Island. Like we were one of those one of those conquistador countries, like with Britain and France and all them.
Yeah, but the original idea was that we set out to be isolationists. We conquered, obviously, from sea to sea, and then we said, okay, this is our spot here now, and we're not going to go, around the world, but we're going to show it off. They sailed the Navy around the world originally, the Great White Fleet or whatever I believe it was called, because to show off our might. But then it went back to our borders, and that's realistically that should be the purpose of a military.
What would have enabled us to maintain our isolationist policies would have been to have developed some form of energy independence, because this is the problem in Germany. They decided to shut down their nuclear plants because they had a whole lot of green guilt from a little Swedish girl, and now they rely so heavily on Russian gas. They can't live without it. They're literally talking about blackouts and brownouts during the winter in Germany because they shut down their nuclear power plants, and they relied so heavily on it.
And when they sanction Russia, it is going to be a dark and cold
Yes.
Well, freedom is about self-dependence.
Right.
If you can't stand on your own 2 feet, whether that be at the level of a country or all the way down to the individual, you can't be free unless you can tell somebody to piss off.
And since
that you don't need them and that you'll do it yourself.
Yes.
And we need to have that if we're going to adopt that mentality as a country, we can't be reliant upon China, Russia, anybody for energy. We have to be able to stand on our own 2 feet and say, we're not getting involved, but if you come to our borders, you will find out.
I got really trounced by this. If you think nuclear energy is too dangerous, but you're willing to threaten a nuclear war power for oil for your energy, you've missed the plot.
Don't see the problem.
Nuclear power is less dangerous. It's safer than attacking Russia.
Thanks for checking out this segment from the Timcast IRL podcast. But if you want to check out the full show live, tune in Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. And if you want more special access content, head over to timcast.com and become a member. Your membership helps sustain this company, keep our journalists employed, makes this show happen, and you will get access to exclusive members-only segments of the Timcast IRL podcast, and there's a massive library to check out. So again, go to timcast.com or tune in Monday through Friday at 8 p.m., and we'll see you all there.